What's up, guys? It's Benny. The stock market and crypto are ripping. The economy is roaring. Job numbers are up. The border is closed. The riots are quelled. And our country is returning to normal. Inflation is cratering along with gas prices and grocery prices. Everything seems to be going peachy, and President Trump's approval numbers are sky high. Donald Trump has higher approval numbers right now than Barack Obama. So why not start an unnecessary war and plunge the world into total chaos? This is the worst possible timeline, and Israel has now struck Iran. Israel strikes Iran, explosions in Tehran, sirens scream across both nations. Israeli Air Force conducted strikes in Iran Thursday, according to two sources with the knowledge of the operation. It's not clear yet what Israel was targeting, but explosions were reported in Tehran. Israel is directly attacking its biggest and best armed adversary without clear backing from the United States of America. In fact, the President Trump's administration has denied helping or assisting or approving of these strikes at all. President Trump publicly opposed any Israeli strike. This is a massive insult, by the way, to the president. This is a huge middle finger to Donald Trump. It is remarkably insulting. Donald Trump just a few hours ago was saying that he wants to do everything to prevent a war with Iran. There's already wars in Gaza, Ukraine, wars brewing in Asia. You don't need any more wars. Donald Trump is the president of peace. Trump saying he still believed a nuclear deal was possible. It's not clear whether Israel has ordered strikes on Iran's nuclear program. They have, or whether the U.S. opposed any specific operation. But the Israeli strikes could be the start of a military conflict that poses grave danger to both Israel and Iran. Sirens sounded across Israel Thursday night. Israeli defense minister declared a special state of emergency in the entire country. The U.S. notified several of its allies in private on Thursday that Israeli strikes were imminent and made clear that America was not involved, one of the sources said. The Trump administration has already told Israel it will not participate in any strikes on the nuclear program, Axios reported. However, the U.S. had previously helped defend Israel from Iranian attacks that would likely do so again if the strikes kick off a retaliatory cycle. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like in Iran right now. Here are the mushroom clouds from looks like targeted and surgical strikes. This reportedly on an airfield in Iran. You can see there the smoke rising up above the buildings. More examples of this, of plumes of smoke. The goal here, according to reports, was to take out the leadership of the regime. You can see the smoke there rising up over Tehran. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't like this move. As you can tell, I have a channel this channel is adamantly anti-war. And as we've said a million times before, any neocon, warmonger wants to tell you they're on the sides of the angels. And the reality is, in many wars, and in virtually all wars, but definitely most wars in my lifetime and in the last 100 years, it's really just been two devils fighting each other. There is no side of the angels. The side of the angels is peace, in fact. Explosions ring out across Iran's capital as Israel claims it is attacking the country. The smoke is rising in Tehran. Again, not good, obviously. This is not good and a massive insult to our president. Israel is striking Iran's capital. Israel has attacked Iran. Iranians report hearing massive explosions back in Tehran, ground shaking, windows rattling, and people walking around terrified. Smoke and fire seen from military bases all around Tehran. So it seems like very surgical strikes at this point. U.S. national security officials say they had no involvement in the Israeli strikes on Iran. One could assume Trump's probably pissed off. He did not want strikes, and he wanted negotiations scheduled. And here we go. My tax dollars, somehow also my tax dollars. Israel's now made a mockery of the United States. I agree with this sentiment, by the way, from Sagar, very much so. President Trump said that he did not want strikes ahead of negotiations scheduled for tomorrow They did it anyway. Their attack today is deliberate sabotage and a blatant attempt to force us into war. We must resist. Donald Trump, time and time again, saying he does not want war with Iran. Here's President Trump just hours ago.
Mr. President, how imminent is an Israeli strike on Iran?
Well, I don't want to say imminent, but it looks like it's something that could very well happen. Look, it's very simple, not complicated. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Other than that, I want them to be successful. I want them to be tremendous. We'll help them be successful. We'll trade with them. We'll do whatever is necessary. You know, I stopped a war between India and Pakistan. And I stopped it with trade. Nobody, I don't think I've ever seen a story written about it, but it was pretty cool. They were getting ready. Pakistan was their turn to hit, and eventually they're going to go nuclear. And I stopped it. I called each. I respect each leader greatly. I know them. And I spoke to them, and I talked about trade. I said, but you're not trading with us if you're going to go to war, if you're going to start throwing nuclear weapons around. And I said it to both of them, and they were both unbelievable, actually. They understood it exactly. They stopped. I stopped that war with phone calls and trade. And India's here right now negotiating a trade deal, and Pakistan's coming, I think, next week. And I'm very proud of that. Nobody died. Nobody, the nuclear weapons, they each have very severe, very substantial numbers of nuclear weapons. And I think we should get some credit for that. You know, the whole Republican Party should, because that's their mindset.
He says, I don't want war. I want to negotiate. Trump saying, do it my way. I've already been very successful. I am de-escalating severely in Gaza and in Ukraine. And we don't need Iran to look like this. This is published seconds ago. You can see here large buildings on fire in downtown Tehran. Cause major damage. This is allegedly part of an attempt to take out the Iranian military leadership before anything really kicks off. You can see here, this is a airbase there in Tehran. So you can see it is in flames and on fire. Israel is currently attacking Iran. Massive explosions being reported. Israel declares a state of emergency. Pretty significant post from Trump. Sounds like diplomatic negotiations with Iran are back on. Did Trump just convince Israel to stand down again? This was Donald Trump just an hour ago. We remain committed to diplomatic resolution in Iran nuclear issue. My entire administration has been directed to negotiate with Iran. They could be a great country, but they first must completely give up hopes of obtaining a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Reports of the Israel striking Iran, the Trump administration has reportedly said they did not partake in any strikes. Disinformation and panic is about to spread like wildfire. I implore everyone to observe reality. Stay frosty. Donald Trump, just hours ago. Well, I don't want to say imminent. It looks like something could very well happen. This is so bad. Nobody voted for more wars. Nobody voted for further war. Nobody voted for World War III. Donald Trump on Iran. This was last night.
On Iran, we're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are being, we've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that can be done to dial the temperature down in the region?
They can't have a nuclear weapon, very simply. They can't have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to allow that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Trump administration is out hard saying, we didn't do this. We are not starting more wars. We are trying to bring peace. And as you have heard, Netanyahu has been a real pest inside of the White House. The National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, was fired because, according to multiple reports, he was working for Netanyahu and not for Trump. He was being used as a back channel into the administration. And the entire National Security Council has been gutted for that exact same reason. Donald Trump wants an administration based on his terms. His terms are America first. America gains nothing by being embroiled in foreign conflict. We are adamantly anti-war on this channel. It all wars rob us. Unless we are defending our own nation, right? Unless we are putting down foreign insurrections in our own cities, right? Like what's happening in Los Angeles, which I cheer the deployment of the National Guard there. Unless we're doing that, all foreign wars do is cost us our greatest treasures, which of course is money and sovereignty of the nation. But then on top of that, obviously the lives of good young American men and women that get plodded into the soil of foreign lands for nothing. And so enough, ladies and gentlemen, of this, and please stay the hell out of it. Not our problem is the way that I look at it. Not our problem. If you agree with that, like, share, and subscribe. It's your boy Benny. Pray for peace. See you.